In last week's video and the first one in the series of healthy habit building, I said I'd come back this week talking about the things that I already know about habit building. So I wrote down a list of everything that I could think of, and it's a pretty long list. So I'm thinking that this series might actually get a little bit longer than what I'd initially envisioned. But that's a good thing because habit building is a huge thing. So we might as well spend some time with it. So anyway, for today, I just decided to make a little bit of a teaser and just name 3 things that I know about habits, or let's say that I intellectually understand, but that I haven't necessarily put to good use yet. I'm trying at the moment to build habits and, just... Okay. Anyway, let's just dive right in. The first thing that I want to mention is that people tend to confuse self-discipline with habit. And that usually happens when you compare yourself to someone else who you aspire to be or who you're envious of. Oftentimes it's the same thing. And you kind of feel like, I wish I had the self-discipline to do what they do, but I just can't get myself to do it. Now, the thing is that these people don't rely on self-discipline because self-discipline, not a lot of people have a lot of that. And you can train it, I think. You can get a little bit more of it if you try to develop it. But technically, this is not something that you want to operate on because it takes a lot of energy and you would just be tired all the time if you had to run on self-discipline. So that's not what these people are doing. The people that you admire, they run on habit. They build habits, if they were aware of it or not, that help them to do whatever it is that you envy them for. That's definitely something that we will talk about more in future. Just something that I wanted to throw into the mix so that you get as excited about this healthy habit thing as I am. The second thing that I want to mention, and that is related to the first point, of course, is that habits shape our lives way more than we think. I have stumbled across the number of 95% of our time that we spend in subconscious programming more than once. I read that everywhere, but maybe that's because of the people that I follow on the internet. Anyway, 95% of the time we spend in subconscious programming, and that's mostly, the programming that we picked up when we were little kids. It's what we picked up from our surroundings, and it shaped basically our patterns, our behavior, our likes, dislikes, our feelings, our thoughts. All of this shaped when we were little kids, and if you don't really make a conscious effort to change it, that's basically the programming that you will go through your entire life. 95% of the time. We think we make conscious decisions all the time, but really don't. The things that we do are our habits. We are our habits, and that seems like a terrible thing, but of course there's a light at the end of the tunnel because we can make changes to these programs that we run under. Otherwise I wouldn't be talking about, because I'm not a pessimist. I don't talk about the things that I don't have any control over. So I'd rather focus on that, and we can focus on it because there's science backing us up, and of course I've experienced it myself. Otherwise I would have a hard time to get on board, probably. So yes, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We can change our programming and we can change our habits, and so we can change our lives. Good news, right? Now the third one seems a bit more pessimistic, just considering what I just said. You can't really extinguish bad habits. You can replace them with better ones. So you can't just break a habit and just not deal with it, but you can transform it into a better habit. So that's the good news. Just if you think about the little time that we actually spend with our conscious mind in our everyday lives, you can understand that you can't just decide to break a habit and then that's it, and you just make this conscious decision once and that changes everything. That's wishful thinking. That's not going to work. We'll get into the anatomy of habits, of course, in a future video. Just for now, about you can't extinguish a bad habit, but you can replace it with something better. Just for you to understand, a habit basically consists of a cue and a routine and a reward. So the cue is the thing that triggers you to do something to get the reward, and then the routine is the pathway that you chose to get to that reward. So what you can do is basically change the routine. So you have the cue and you react to the cue if you want to or not. And then you get the cue and you crave the reward at the end of it. And so the conscious effort that you need to do is change the routine to something better than whatever it is that you've been doing before. Okay, so all of the things that I just talked about, we will get into more depth in other videos. I just wanted to, basically make a teaser to get us all excited and on board for this healthy habit building journey. And I hope that that's what I could convey, because I'm really excited about it. I don't know if that's something that captures your interest, but if you're with me, I would love for you to come back and go on this journey with me, because there's so much that I intellectually understand, but that I haven't really taken the time to figure out for myself. So I'm really excited about this journey. And I hope you'll have a wonderful week. The sun is finally back.